Kurumjari is me. Oinam Teresa Khumancha. I'm going to present a paper on Meitei Tribe Elderly Assumption of Indian War with Manipur Independent Group. Now, you already know that my title is Meitei Tribe Elderly Assumption on Indian War with Manipur Independent Group. In this paper, we have a two author. The first one is Oinam Teresa Khumancha, and the second author is Oinam Ghanshyam Khumancha. Okay, the first author is it's me myself, Oinam Teresa Khumancha. Now I'm pursuing my PhD in Central University Gujarat at Society Development Department. Now I'm working on Meitei's tribes in India, that how their lifestyles and everything. And I have done my MPhil in Society and Development at Elderly and Genders, the gerontology area I have done in my MPhil. Then I have done my master in psychology. And the second author is Oinam Ghanshyam, Thoujal Khumancha. He also a PhD candidate in Central University of Gujarat, Department Security Study. He is working in overseas infrastructure and investment. He have also done his MPhil in the same university, same department, working on South Asia, China Sea, South China Sea. Okay, introduction. Manipur. So here in my paper, I will be talking about the Meitei tribes and the Manipur. So Manipur. First of all, I will talk about where is Manipur. Manipur is a tiny little small state in India, which is near the Burma. So, and Meiteis is a little small tiny communities group in this tiny state. So I will be talking about this small group called Meitei tribes, and I will be talking about the tiny little state called Manipur. Some people said colonialism is over during the Cold War. We got an interesting and debating cases in present state of Manipur under republics of India. The present state of Manipur exists with more or less similar political geography for more than 2000 years under various kings. In modern history, the Kingdom of Burma, Myanmar, and Kingdom of Manipur engaged in frequently war and riot till the arrival of British force in form of British Indian Empire. In 1891 Common Era, a British Indian Empire defected the Kingdom of Manipur, the last kingdom in South Asia defected by the British force and placed it as a princely state under British Indian Empire. So, people in the history of the British Empire, Manipur is known as the last princely state which is conquered by the British Empire. The British Indian transferred its power to domain of India and domain of Pakistan in August 1947 and leave the fate of princely state to decide themselves. Let's go to the next slide. Domain of India is Hostel and Thoujal managed to incorporate 565 plus princely states under the leadership of its first Deputy Prime Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who is known or called as the Iron Man of India. Junagadh, Nizam, Hyderabad, and the Kingdom of Kashmir. International dispute between China, India, and Pakistan were major issues in corporate the domain net of India. The Kingdom of Manipur, with its king Buddha Chandra Singh, passed Manipur Constitutional Act on 26 July 1947 and Manipur became a democratic constitutional monarchy. Before the one day before India got independent, British Empire has declared the Manipur as an independent country, but the next day of Manipur got independent, Manipur all come under the Indian domain. In a controversial chain in the controversial chain of event in September 1949, under a house arrest in Ceylon, the king of Manipur signed a merger agreement with domain of India. So, after our king has signed to the Indian government that we also will become a domain of India, that on that day only we becomes a part of a Republic India. Some people support the king moves, some oppose the agreement based on the argument. So, if one thing is happening, so the supporter group also will be coming. So the unsupporter group, the opposition party also will be coming. So when the Manipur government, this one, Manipur government, I will say that Manipur king, he is decided without the knowledge of the common peoples. He just signed the agreement of to join in India. So some people's it's just like surprising. So some people's they are accepting the surprising part of done by the our king that's supported, and some people's are oppose that what the king has done without the permission and advice of the Constitutional Assembly of Manipur. So it's just like one surprising packet to the everyone's that how our king have done this and that, and so it's mixed feelings, mixed emotions for the peoples of Manipur that we should be happy or we should be cry or we should what should we do like that. That type of situations are facing with the common peoples. So let's go to the next slides. Major General Rawal Amar Singh of Indian Army hosts the Indian tricolor inside the King Palace on 15 October 1949, where he declared all those who don't support the merger agreement as a communist and will deal with them. So he's an Irabot and other remaining member of Pauna Independent League from Red Guard and launched armed struggles against domain of India. So if one thing we already know that if one thing is happening, so the supporter group and the unsupporter group will be coming out. So the Major General Rabul Amar Singh has already declared that who have been not accepted that Manipur's immersed in India, those people we will declare as the communist. So one person called Irabot and his member, some people who is go with him come out and they are against the domain of India. They just want a independent Manipur like this, so they are fighting in that time. The Meitei tribes is a very small tribe which about 1.5 million population across Bangladesh, India and Myanmar. Meitei tribes, Meiteis is a very small communities which is found in part of Bangladesh, a tiny part of Bangladesh, tiny part of India, and Myanmar. The history of the state of Manipur is the history of Meitei tribe, which is now forced to live in the ghetto known as Imphal Valley. Imphal is a very, how to say, Manipur itself is a very tiny place. So in Manipur, there is a lot of district is there. So in that lot, in the various of 32 districts, Imphal is a, 16 districts like that. So Manipur is a only small ghetto area where Meitei tribes peoples are allowed in to stay and survive their livelihood. Now, many splinter groups are coming out claiming to fight the Republic of India for an independent Manipur. Manipur. What? Okay, methodology part. This is a methodology. This is a case study in first place, and the study imply doctoral method with interview and questionnaire to the elderly for primary informations. So in these studies, we have taken the interview method and questionnaire method to understand more about how the situations of the Manipurs and how the elderlies are uh, having their point of view related with that stuff and how to feel and how to so their interviews and questionnaires of elderly's point of views are taken as a primary information. The study also, for the more information, we can't do only the primary section. So for a secondary section, we just read the news, books, web pages, articles related with the subjects, so that we can get more informations and more knowledge about these things, so that we can give a more clearer areas and clear about these areas while we are studying find out. So we need a proper find out. So we read lots of secondary stuffs also to bring out the justice to the studies. Finding 55% of elderly respondents feel the merger agreement with India is a major root causes of trouble in people lives. So while taking the interview, so 55% of elderlies are responded that they're feeling that because of the immersed with agreement with India, because of that they are getting problem, they are saying like that. And 75% of elderly respondents expressed that armed force special power act 1958 as a major problem in people life. Oh, and so like 50% of elderly think that because of the merger agreement with India, we have getting these problems like that. Like that, 75% of elderly think that because of the Arms Force Special Power Act 1958, this APASPA. Because of this, we are getting problem in our life when the 75% of elderly are thinking. Only 17.5% of elderly respondents feel that armed revolutionary against Indian disturbs their life. 72.5 and 55 unemployed and poor develops as a factor of armed revolutionary against India. So the major respondents we got from this finding is this finding from the elderlies is most of the elderlies are responded because of the Armed Special Power Act 1958. We get a problems in our lives. So what is APASPA? APASPA, this one, Armed Special Power Act, is an act given by the Indian government to the Indian Army. It's an act which give a license to kill anyone, anybody when they got a suspect. Anywhere, anytime, any place can be killed. So, conclusion. In 1949, the Kingdom of Manipur signed a merger agreement with Dominant of India. The babies of that year now become elderly. So it's a long era. So those in that time, those time, that young generations now become the elderly, now become the grandparents for us. Those elderly survivals their lives within an undeclared war between Democratic India and Manipur Independent Group. Armed Force Power Act 1958 is one little power booster to Indian armed forces. Many might forget the reasons of the war and now dying for the peace which India is falling.